Good afternoon to all. Welcome to FDP Phase 2, First Day Session 3. Today we have Dr. Ramasamy Rajesh Kumar as our guest speaker. And before I start, I'd like to introduce our guest for today. Dr. Ramasamy Rajesh Kumar is associated presently with the College of Agriculture and Biotechnology, Zhejiang University, China. His education includes a master's degree in biotechnology from Bharatidasan University. He holds a postgraduate diploma in bioinformatics from SISI Government of India. He also holds a master's of philosophy in biotechnology from Periyar University. His PhD includes subjects from environmental biotechnology from Bharatidasan University. Sir holds double doctorate, postdoctorate, one in microbial technology from Chonbuk National University, Korean Republic. Another postdoctoral degree is from molecular toxicology and environmental criteria from Nankai University, province of China. His experience includes research, teaching, and industry. He has worked as a postdoctoral researcher in Nankai University, province of China, worked as postdoctoral researcher from Chonbuk National University, Republic of Korea. He was a junior research fellow under UGC scheme in a project entitled Microbial Diversity and Population Structure Analysis of Bacterial Communities, effectively sorbing toxic pollutants from e-waste in Laboratory of Molecular Microbial Bioremediation, Department of Environmental Biotechnology, Bharatadasan University. He has also worked as a junior research fellow in a DRDO-supported laboratory in a project entitled To Evaluate the Microbial Sorption Capacity of Heavy Metals Released from Explosives and Elucidate the Mechanism Involved in the same laboratory. Sir's teaching experience includes his being associated with St. Joseph University as Associate Professor and Head, Nagaland, India. He has also worked as Assistant Research Professor, Department of Bioenvironmental Chemistry, Chonbuk National University, Korea. He has worked as a lecturer for postgraduates in the Department of Bioinformatics at Jamal Muhammad College, which is an autonomous college in Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu. His industry experience includes that he has worked as a technical assistant in contract for Kuppaswamy Construction at Center for Applied Research and Development in Tamil Nadu. Sir has quite a few accolades for his achievements. He, in the year 2015, is awarded a Young Scientist Award from DERO. He is also a founder, Voice of India Concern for Environment and Voice of International Community for the Environment. He is a founder and chief managing editor of Science Research Library. He is the editor-in-chief of International Journal of Microbiology, Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. He is also associate editor, International Journal of Recent Advances in Biotechnology. He is also a founder secretary of Art of Giving Charitable Trust. Sir, we are very delighted to have you as our guest speaker today. So on behalf of staff, students and the management of the Oxford College of Engineering, I, Salma, Assistant Professor at the Department of Biotechnology, welcome you to this session, sir. Sir, you may kindly take over the session.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Salma, for your wonderful introduction about me. And I thank, firstly, I thank Professor Manjunatha for giving me this opportunity to join this FDP program. Actually, I supposed to give my presentation in my first session of, first session of this FDP program. Anyhow, actually, I got some other thing. I couldn't make it my presentation possible, but today I got an opportunity for that, to thank Professor Manjunatha for giving me another opportunity for giving my presentation today. I also thank Oxford Engineering College, the management for arranging a wonderful FDP program with the support of AICTE. And I guess this is a wonderful program. So far, actually, I have been attended for a long time. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible. If you could put it on a slideshow mode, sir.
Yeah. I will do that. Yeah. So this is the need of the hour. I guess this is a wonderful program. Dr. Manjunatha, he is like arranging for Indian research community, especially in the biotechnology or life science sector, because these days, like so India is like transforming in every possible way, and especially in teaching, I mean, education and research and development. So I could like compare India and China, so both of the countries are having a similar kind of population, though we do have like a similar kind of population, and China got independence after Indian independence, but China has like made a tremendous development in the past few years, and I could say like after Beijing Olympics, okay, and then actually so you can see like China, I could compare actually China and India because when you want to like do something, you always keep like the comparison. So then only we can like go further and we can find like what we are lagging and like how can like go further to like develop our nation into like to the international level. So in this aspect, I guess like the bio innovation, patenting, and entrepreneurship opportunities in biotechnology for sustainable environmental is a wonderful faculty development program. I guess most of the faculty, those who attended this program, would have like benefited through like different lectures from many of experts. And my presentation today, I'm going to give a brief idea about like so how to do the integrated sustainable agriculture and rural bio entrepreneurship, because these both are like integrated. India is facing lots of agriculture issues, and which we need to be addressed. Not only India, actually, in the whole entire universe is like into problem, and we need to address the problem by doing sustainable agriculture. But not only sustainable agriculture, we need to do the integration of different kind of like agriculture practice together to achieve the goal. And the rural bio-entrepreneurship is also an important sector of a country like India, because India has lots of villages, and villages are the backbone, and agriculture is also the backbone of India's for India. And we need to consider both aspects, like how to do the integrated sustainable agriculture, and also we need to find the opportunities for the rural people. I mean, those who are practicing agriculture in the rural areas, to come up with some new or innovation or new ideas and new methodologies or techniques, whatever you can consider it for, to conduct the integrated sustainable agriculture. So, I would like to start my presentation with the Tirukural, and this guy actually like he's a prophet Thiruvalluvar. He born like 2,500 years ago, and also he wrote actually. I mean, so far we got like only 1,330 couplets from his writings, and it's 2,005 years old. And often you would have like listen this guy actually Thiruvalluvar or Tirukural. Even in Parliament, and whenever Modi visiting Tamil Nadu, he used to like address people by giving Thirukkural to while addressing the Tamil Nadu people. Okay, so this Thirukkural is considered as a Ulaga Podumazhai, that is, there is a Bible to all people, okay, common to all, irrespective of language, culture, and ethnicity. So nothing to do with any kind of religious. So anyone can learn this Thirukkural, and this Thirukkural is like the Bible of all humans, okay. So this chapter is related to Portpal. Portpal means giving something, okay. So related to wealth or earning something, okay. So this chapter, the chapter is forming Uravu. The couplet, okay, the Kural is 1031. Surandrum ஏற்பின்னது உலகம் அதனால் உழந்தும் உழவே தலை. சுழன்றும் ஏற்பின்னது உலகம் அதனால் உழந்தும் உழவே தலை. So the couplet meaning is like it's like two lines. Actually, you read like 1,330 couplets. Couplet means like two lines. So that's why it's called as இரண்டடி குறள். Okay. பல மாற்றங்களும் சுழலும் உலகம் உழவு தொழிலை பின்பற்றி இருக்கும் ஆகையால் பல தொழில் பழகியும் உழவே தலைமையானது. So the couplet meaning is however they roam, actually whoever they roam, actually like the human beings, wherever they go, the world must follow still the plougher's team. Actually, those who are like ploughing means the farmers, okay. Though toilsome, culture of the ground as noblest toil esteem. So the expression of the couplet is like agriculture, though laborious, is the most excellent form of labor. For people, though go about in search of various employments, have at last to resort to the farmer. So wherever you go, whatever you do, what kind of like development comes, what are the technologies like happening, what are the transformation happening. However, finally we need to come to the agriculture, because agriculture, through agriculture only we can feed ourselves, we can survive through agriculture. All right. So so the whole is like somebody mic is like no, it's on. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. So there's a low productivity, like low quality of unorganized farming system, and lack of access on modern and improved technologies like farm machineries, seed, fertilizers, experts. I mean, like knowledge and low access to approach on market and price are major problems in the agriculture sector. Okay, so this is why the reason, like we the whole entire world is like facing severe issues on food. And Mr. Ban Ki-moon, of the former UN secretary, he addressed UN sponsored summit in Rome, stressing that like food production would have to rise by 50% by 2030 to meet the demand. Okay, and the recently, like you can see like prices, even like we can say actually India is developing, but still India has like lots of food crisis, and many people are like not even having food. Actually, some are having one-time food, some are having two-time food, and yeah, very few group of people having three times food, and some people are having more food. Okay, so we do have like different levels of people so to access to the food. So there is a big issue, and yeah, so we need to meet out like all the issues by 2030. That is a goal of UN, that UN United Nations. Okay, the first goal is there are 17 goals. So the first goal is no poverty, and the second one is zero hunger, and third one is good wealth, and yeah, so these three are related to food actually. Okay, and these three can be achieved through quality education, and yeah, so the education gives like a gender equality and clean water and sanitation. Also this thing, actually these 17 goals all together, so it's all integrated. Okay, so you cannot like separate one thing, and you cannot like develop one part as such. Okay, so all these 17 goals are interlinked. So you can see affordable and clean energy, and so everyone should have like decent work, and should have proper economic growth, and there should be industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Okay, so which is related to this FDP, and reduce inequalities, there are inequalities among humans and also in livings. Okay, so everyone should should have like quality, equal rights, equal lifestyle. Okay, and sustainable cities and communities, and responsible consumption and production, and climate action, life below water, like the ocean, which is below ocean, and life on land, like other birds and animals, and peace, justice, and strong institutions. Through that only we can have a team together. We can unite together, so we can go for a partnership to achieve these goals. Okay, so this is the idea of United Nations. So we need to address the first two things, which is no poverty and zero hunger. Okay, so this is about actually the set of 17 goals for the world's future through 2030, and backed up by a set of 169 detailed targets, and negotiated over a 2-year period at the United Nations. And they agreed to by nearly all the world's nation on September 2015. Okay, the first one, like end poverty in all its forms everywhere. So how to how to achieve this end poverty? Okay, that is another thing which we biotechnologists, I could say, agriculture biotechnologists, those who are involving in biotechnology sector, because the biotechnology sector is it's a wide area actually. It has different biopharma, bioagri, bio innovation, and bioinfo. So there are different sectors. So sorry, into bioagri, they need to find out how to end poverty, and also how to end hunger, and achieve food security, and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. So today we are going to see these both things. So, and also we are going to see about bio-entrepreneurship, so how to achieve that. Okay, so as I mentioned before, all the nations facing problems of poverty, hunger, and also malnutrition. Actually, in India, actually, we are facing lots of malnutrition issues. And you know, notice when you turn on TVs, you can see there used to be like advertisement. Okay, so to donate some money for the kids actually those who are malnutrition. Every month is it possible for it to donate 500 rupees like that. You would have noticed somewhere actually like some way or like no sometime you would have like came across this kind of advertisement on TV. Actually, India has a big issue of like malnutrition, and these things should be like accelerate their agriculture growth. Okay, how we can do that actually for achieving such development goals, especially while aiming at no poverty, zero hunger, and also when you do like such an agriculture development, and you need to think about like safe environment. Okay, yeah, the Green Revolution not only led to food self sufficiency, but also helped to reduce the poverty and hunger. Okay, so we had a Green Revolution like by MSSRF. Okay, and MS Swaminathan, you know him. Actually, like he's a man actually Green Revolution in India, and that helped to like reduce the poverty in India, and also that supported like growth of like agriculture in India, but also that also led to like soil pollution actually, because they apply lots of like fertilizers, actually chemical fertilizer into the agricultural land. We now like because at the time actually we don't have any choice. One thing actually we had actually to like come for a green revolution, but that time actually we had only option to like put the chemical fertilizer to like end or reduce the um, poverty and hunger. Okay, so now actually like we have a food system face an unprecedented challenge of providing an estimated of 60% more food by 2015 to feed a growing and more prosperous population, while food production will likely face increased pressure from climatic and environmental change. Okay, so we do have like two challenges. We need to address the poverty, because by 2050 like so the the human population is going to get increased. Okay, and we need there will be like we need to like provide more actually 60% food at the time, but when we want to achieve that 60% at that time, we are going to have issues related to environment, and also the climate is like continuously changing. So we have like two barriers, okay, to achieve end poverty and also hunger, okay, by 2050, by 2030. But anyhow, 2050 we will be having 60% of like more food is required. Okay, so yeah, so before going for this, I mean like about India, so I would like to play a video, so that is going to help you to understand the whole issues like what we are going to face through like food security or food thing. All right, is my screen is visible? Hello. Is my screen is visible?
So looks like your PPT is stuck. So we can't hear you also.
We're living in a rapidly growing and changing world, and human well-being has greatly improved in recent decades.
Can you see the video? The video is playing or not?
No, sir, it is only audio that is playing.
Yeah, but this screen is visible, right? Now?
No, sir, only your presentation with India mark is seen. It's on slide 8.
How about now? Is it the screen visible?
Yes, sir. California Academy of Sciences.
We are living in a rapidly growing and changing world, and human well-being has greatly improved in recent decades. There are about 3 billion people getting wealthier, and by 2050, they'll be entering the global middle class. Our challenge as teens will be meeting the needs of these people, all the while trying not to destroy the environment as opposed to life around.
We are intricately connected to that environment. Beyond the resources that it provides, nature is absolutely amazingly cool. Living organisms and the ecosystems in which they reside are complex, intricate, beautiful, gross. Simply put, our world is amazing to be a part of.
Surprisingly, a big way we interact with the environment is through the food we eat and how we grow it.
Food production is a huge cause of environmental change and habitat destruction. Agriculture, which is farms and pastures, take up the most amount of land on Earth. Croplands alone take up as much land as the continent of South America, while pastures for grazing animals take up as much land as the continent of Africa. On average, it takes around 2,300 square meters of land to grow food for just one American. That's the equivalent of 5 NBA basketball courts. In recent years, 5 to 10 million hectares of land have been cleared for food. Most of this land came from diverse tropical rainforests.
But not every diet takes the same amount of land. Diets differ around the world, but on average, it takes 3 basketball courts to feed a person, and that's 40% less than the typical American diet. Meat production requires more land than vegetables, fruits, and grains. In fact, meat production requires 3/4 of all agricultural land, and this is because of the space needed to grow animal feed. Animal feed also needs a lot of water. It can take up to 1,800 gallons of water to produce just 1 pound of beef. That's as much water as 90 showers. Around the world, people are making more money to buy things like food, clothes, and shelter. And as people make more money, they buy more meat, which takes more land to produce. If everyone wanted to eat like Americans do, we would need twice the land we have to grow crops. And where would that land come from? Individual diet choices, like choosing between a hamburger or a veggie burger or even a chicken sandwich, can have a big impact on the environment.
Well, what if you don't have those options? Over 1 in 14 Americans have little or no access to fresh or affordable food that is necessary to maintain a healthy lifestyle, let alone the ability to make choices that are better for the environment. These areas are known as food deserts. Food deserts are defined as urban neighborhoods or rural towns without ready access to fresh, healthy, and affordable foods. These communities may only be served by fast food restaurants or convenience stores that offer few affordable options. The lack of access contributes to a poor diet and higher levels of obesity, as well as other diet-related diseases such as diabetes and heart disease.
But lack of food isn't just a problem. Sometimes we have too much food, and 1/3 of that goes to waste. That's 20 pounds of food per person every month. It also takes on a significant environmental toll too. 31% of U.S. cropland and 25% of U.S. freshwater goes to raise that uneaten food.
These are all large problems. Fortunately, we live in a time in history with the opportunity and the technology to really change the fate of our planet. By making smart decisions, we can put the environment on a more stable path. The actions we take today can greatly improve our future. But if we don't take any action, then we may find ourselves with massive environmental problems later on.
It's not adults that have to bear this burden and recognize this opportunity. It's us. We're inspired to think differently, and together we can change the world.
We can do this. We can find a solution to the problems of today.
All right, is my screen is visible now? My PPT? Is my PPT visible now?
So your screen is visible. Yes, sir, it is visible.
My PPT is visible?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So this video actually, like, what you have seen now, it shows like, so there's plenty of food, but there are like no food. For growing a food for a person, actually, we need 3 basketball size of land, agricultural land, to grow food for one person. So just imagine, I mean, for one person for a year. So just imagine, like, how much agricultural land we require. And it's not that easy to have, like, that much of land to, like, grow food for, to meet out, or to, like, end the poverty, or to end the hunger. So, so now to, like, deal all those things, what we need to go for is, like, integrated agricultural farming system. So that is the only solution where we can, like, grow all like, agriculture practice together to meet out the need for the human population, which is going to increase by 2050. So here's a small, like, study by Boyer D. Sarkar J. Ramasamy in 2019. It's about, like, diets, food miles, and environmental sustainability of urban food system. So they analyzed, like, about 9 Indian cities, and which was published in Earth's Future. Okay, so here you can see they have chosen, like, 9 Indian cities like Chandigarh, Delhi, Ahmedabad, Rajkot, Surat, Goa, Bengaluru, Chennai, and Puducherry. So, so what they did actually, like, so they found in their study actually, the annual residential per capita food demand across 9 Indian cities. Okay, here it shows, like, the composition of diet by food type. The A, actually, here you can see the distribution of food types. Here you can say the vegetables is available, and you can see the milk available and the wheat available in Delhi. Okay, for Delhi population. Okay, and in Chandigarh you can see the vegetable which is available is lesser comparing to Delhi, and rice is, like, somewhat nearly, like, closer, and wheat is also very less, but milk is more available in Chandigarh. And here in Ahmedabad, you can see the same situation. Like, it's when comparing Delhi, or the vegetable available for, like, Ahmedabad is, like, when compared to Delhi is lesser, and milk is I mean, a little, like, higher than comparing, I mean, like, to Delhi, and wheat is available very lesser. Okay, and rice is, like, shows, like, a similar kind of, like, an availability. And you can compare, like, all the 9 cities. Okay, so here, which shows the, like, the demand of, like, more food for the need to meet out the people, especially in Ahmedabad. You can see the data is, like, comes the insufficient of calories also food, and again, like, the Rajkot, they are also, like, the calories actually it is, like, insufficient. So, so these are the demand of, like, of our, like, the people living in these 9 cities. This is just a small data they collected, but when you go further in detail, actually, you can find very big, like, issues that India is facing recently. And here you can say, like, the special delineation of city food supply chains. Okay, here in Ahmedabad, actually, the supply chain distribution of food production is so here is very lesser, but Bengaluru supplies to many places. I mean, they supply till here, and Chennai as well, like, supply until here, and Delhi supply very small area, and Goa supply to their own, like, related to there, and Puducherry they supply close to, like, Bengaluru, Karnataka, and in Andhra Pradesh. And yeah, so again, Rajkot, they supplies Delhi and close, very close, very few places. And Surat supplies, like, like Bengaluru, like, Surat supplies their food to many places. Okay, so this is the, like, comparison of, like, so how much spatial deletion of, like, city food supply to various places. And you can see here again the water scarcity risk measures by, like, crop and city. So here you can see here is a map actually, like, so low to high, extremely high, and the extremely high places are, like, the water scarcity is in uh, Ahmedabad, Delhi, Chandigarh is, like, medium high, and Goa is also medium high, Bangalore is also medium high, Chennai is extremely high because Chennai has already seen zero water actually, like, so 0 day actually, like, there's no water actually at Chennai. I think like 2-3 years ago. And yeah, Pondicherry is like medium high. So these are the water scarcity in the 9 cities actually to meet out the agriculture practice. All right, so every human we think actually was what I did actually I didn't do anything. I just have money, I just buy my food, I just consume, and I just live happily. Okay, and so I'm not disturbing the environment. You may think in the way, but it's not like that way. It's like every human activity has an impact on environment, whether you know it or it doesn't know. But obviously, like every human activity, like every human activity has an impact. Okay, so yeah, so the impact may be like positive or negative, and whether they will affect long-term sustainability or it's to a large extent, that is a question of management. Okay, so here you can see the carbon footprint. So whatever the food that you consume, that produces like carbon dioxide, that is the greenhouse gases. Okay, so when you consume lentils, actually, when the production of lentils actually uh, that produce zero point 0.9 of that CGH, that carbon greenhouse gases. Okay, so here is a simple flow, I mean like a chart. Okay, the main chart compares 110 gram of food against a journey in a mid-sized car, and number of shows kilogram of carbon dioxide equivalent produced per 1 kilogram of food. So here in this from this flow chart, actually the chart, actually we can see when you consume vegetables, actually that gives like very low carbon dioxide emission. But whereas like when you consume beef or lamb and yeah, so these both are actually give produce like lots of greenhouse gases, because as I have shown you before in the video, it's like more land is required for for livestock breeding. Not only livestock breeding, also for livestock we need feeds. Actually, for growing feeds for the livestock also need lots of land. So when you grow these things, actually like always there's going to be transportation, and also there's going to involve lots of things in the breeding as well as feeding the livestock. Actually, then obviously there will be more carbon dioxide release into the environment. So these are some of the example of carbon footprint of what we eat. Like, so what are the things we eat? We obviously contributing of positive or negative impact to the environment. All right, so here you can see the environmental impacts. Actually, this atmospheric composition. This is an example from greenhouse gases emission, and air quality, water quantity and quality, and again the eutrophication when it comes to the water actually, and also the toxicity. And obviously there will be biodiversity loss, because when you want to grow when you grow more food, when you want to produce more food, obviously you need to cut down the deforestation. When you do deforest, obviously you're going to disturb the biodiversity, which is the habitat living in the forest area. Okay, so obviously there is going to be no issues actually. Again, so natural resources. When you go for renewable resources, really land, landscape, and soils, again that's going to disturb fresh water and genetic resources. Obviously, that's going to get disturbed, and biodiversity, marine resources, ecosystem services. So everything is interrelated. Okay, so we cannot separate something different in no different aspect. So everything's interlinked together. So these are some of the activities through us, which makes an impact in the agriculture sector. Okay, so what are the environmental impacts of food and agriculture? Okay, so here in the visualization shows some of the main global impacts. Okay, and food accounts for over a quarter of 26% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Okay, and and land use, half of the land use. Actually, what are the land we are using? Not only land, actually land one not only for agriculture, also for forests and the living areas where we are living, urban areas, shrubs, fresh water. Okay, this is actually 50-50. Half of the world's habitat, ice and desert land is used for agriculture. Also released 50% of issues. Okay, and 70% of global freshwater withdrawals are used for agriculture, and 78% of the global ocean and freshwater eutrophication is caused by agriculture, and 90% of mammal biomass. Okay, that livestock where we grow, like livestock for for meat purposes, uh, worldwide wild mammals by a factor of like 15 to 1%, 15 to 1 of the 28% of species evolved be threatened with the extinction of Indian Union of certificate red list agriculture and aquaculture is listed as threat for 24,000 of the biodiversity in this area. Okay, so these are the impacts actually happening when you want to grow more food and agriculture. Okay, when you want to grow more food and practice agriculture. So in order to meet this, actually we need to go for sustainable agriculture. That is integrated sustainable agriculture. So now we are going to see how to face these issues, how to come with new ideas or innovation through by innovation, how to meet out the requirements of end poverty and end hunger. Okay, the global challenges arising from climate change and dwindling natural resources such as soil and water, and the need to preserve nature and biodiversity mean that we are still far from a secure food supply for the planet's population of more than 7 billion. So as we seen in the video, actually, so we don't have safest food supply to all the living humans in the world. And even in America, actually, you can think about it. America also doesn't have a safest food. So just imagine a country like India. So we do have street foods, and we don't know what kind of food is served. Actually, we might not aware of that, and whether the food served actually having proper nutrition and nutritious food or proper calories in the food. So because in abroad, actually, wherever you buy a food, the food even the biscuit packets you buy, there they mention how much calories in it and how much fat in it and how much nutrition in it. Actually, all those information will be printed on the back of any kind of biscuits packets you purchase. Also, sandwiches or burgers, whatever you buy at abroad. Actually, even in India, recent days, in recent years, they used to put all these details. But I'm not sure whether they are right or wrong, correct information or wrong. But still, they are printing those information. But still, there is lots of things we need to consider to know whether the information right or wrong. So how to meet out this planet population to end poverty and we need to give secure food for more than 7 billion people. So the task will not only get more difficult as the population rise to more than 9 billion by 2050. Okay, by year 2050, the planet population, okay, the population of the entire world is going to be more than 9 billion. Okay, so these challenges can only met when the world's farmers are able to farm productively and sustainably. Okay, so in order to meet the food for that more than 9 billion people, it's in the hands of the farmers, not with the IT people or not with the techies or something, which is only with the biotechnologies or with the agriculture practices or the farmers. So we need to think how we can come with novel ideas to have good production, and also that production should be done in a sustainable way. Okay, so sustainable agriculture is based on efficient and productive use of soil. So we cannot simply waste soil or put any kind of chemical fertilizer just like that in order to, because we already did during the green evolution, we put lots of chemical fertilizer into that. That's why actually we have there's a train from Punjab here. The train name is Cancer Train or something. Okay, because the train takes people from Punjab to somewhere hospital, because the Punjab actually is a place for lots of agricultural activities. So they put lots of chemical fertilizer over there. Even Kerala, Kasargod, they have put lots of endosulfan. Even still now, actually, the babies born born there actually having lots of genetical issues. Okay, some baby born with a different kind of eyes and hands and So these issues are there. Okay, so to attend agriculture doesn't mean just simply put water in the soil and you just use water as much you want and use the energy as much you want and use nutrients. Okay, put in the nutrients like fertilizer, put as much fertilizer into that and keep labor just like that. Okay, it's not a way to do a proper farming or proper agriculture. Okay, so what we need to do is these factors we should consider to meet out sustainable agriculture. Okay, So when you have like these things, okay, it will like minimize negative environmental effects. For example, effects due to fertilizer losses or release of greenhouse gases when soil is unnecessarily disturbed. Okay, so we should not like disturb the soil unnecessarily. Actually, so what exactly the soil need, we need to put in there, and what exactly the water actually. So we need to like we should have a proper management and proper like ideas or innovation to do the sustainable agriculture. Okay. Okay, so last but not least, like sustainable agriculture achieves social responsibility and trust through transparent communication. Okay, that is more important. So what you are doing, you should be informed properly. That then only like we can do proper like we can achieve the proper sustainable agriculture. Okay, so then only the consumer also like will aware of like how you're practicing agriculture, because these days you can see everywhere where you go, actually they say it's the organic food, but I'm damn sure actually that food won't be organic. Okay, they simply put advertisement organic. Okay, because there's no proper communication. They don't do like transfer communication. They just like give fake things. Okay, so when you do like proper transfer communication, then only the consumer will know actually what exactly it is. Then the consumer will consume, because always the production what we are doing, it's only for the consumers. Okay, okay, so it fulfills the needs of people, planet, and person. Okay, now we are going to see how to do the integrated farming. Okay, so we need to do integrated farming through innovative, and it should be practical. Okay, so we should not like have a big idea, but big ideas are there with people. But when you go for like when you try to practice those innovative ideas, it will be like impossible, and there will be always like end with the failure. Excuse me. And also the integrated farming should be effective. It's effective by means of like more production. Okay, okay, so how the innovation has improved all aspects of farming. Okay, so we are going to see in next 5 or 6 slides about like these things. Okay, first one, we need to think about like innovation about like a plant and animal breeding, and we need to know about the soil science and plant nutrition and plant production, and agricultural engineering, animal nutrition and welfare, and veterinary medicine. So innovation also underpins the concept of like integrated farming, which aims to like minimize the environment impact and also maintain a secure supply of high quality food. Okay, so the production of food is not it's not important actually. It's how quality of food that you are producing to meet out the diet exact nutrition level that should a person need. Okay, that is more important. And at the same time, you should like assure farmers' livelihoods, okay, because that is more important. Because these days, the farmers are into protest in India because they are not having a proper like an income. Okay, so the farmers are protesting in India. So that we are like seeing debate. I mean, like that is we are like witnessing through the TV channels and also from the newspapers. So we also assure okay the farmers having a good livelihood. Okay. Okay, for that, what the Indian government has done so far, okay? The Indian government like constituted an inter-ministerial committee in April 2016 in order to examine the issues relating to the doubling the farmers' income, okay? Because as I mentioned, okay, so we only not need not to like have a proper food, also develop more production of food. It's also like take care of the farmers who are who are like bluffing and also like practicing the agriculture. Okay, and they recommended strategies to achieve the same. Okay, the committee submitted its report to the government in September 2018, containing the strategy for doubling of farmers' income by the year 2022. So the what the committee has suggested to make the farmers' income double by improving in crop productivity and improvement in the livestock productivity and resource use efficiency or savings in the cost production, increase in the cropping intensity, diversification towards high value crops, improvement in real prices received by farmers, and shift from farm to non-farm occupations. Okay, so this is what the that the committee suggested to the government of India in order to doubling the farmers' income by the year 2022 by next year. I mean, yeah, by next year actually we need to achieve this. So that's why Indian government wants to come up. They want to bring more people into the agriculture practice and come up with some novel ideas, innovations, or something to meet out these seven categories. Okay. Okay, so these over the centuries, farmers have learned to use natural resources efficiently, consuming them to ensure sustainability. However, in modern times, okay, they have been greatly helped by scientific research. Like we do have ICAR, and also we do have agriculture university, every state there we are having, and also there are a good institution, those who are working regularly on agriculture researches. Okay, and yeah, so through that, actually, we are helping the farmers through scientific research, innovation, and sound professional education and high quality advisory services. Okay, so these are the most important thing that we need during this modern times, because we lack agricultural land, and also we already polluted the agricultural land, and also the population getting growing, and there are lots of people sleeping without having food. So there are lots of things happening. So in order to come to conclude all those issues and also double the farmers' income, so scientific research and innovation, sound professional education, and high quality advisories is need of the hour. Okay, and the farmers will informed about the best crop management methods. Okay, and how to manage livestock efficiently with high welfare standards, and also the effective ways to manage their land and natural resources. Because many farmers still have no idea. Because I have seen many farmers, they just waste water. Actually, they just open. I mean, they on the pump, actually water pump. The water just go just like that. Okay, the drifting system is a better way to practice agriculture. I was in South Korea. Actually, I have noticed plenty of greenhouses. Okay, where they practice sustainable agriculture. I'm talking about the year 2012. Actually, they are practiced for long years, but when I witnessed these things, I was surprised. The reason is they have controlled environment. They use the sufficient water into the greenhouse, and they grow paprika. Paprika means capsicum. They grow eggplant, that is brinjal, and the lady's finger, and they grow various vegetables inside the greenhouse. Okay, they don't practice agriculture in the open. They grow only rice in the open, but the remaining vegetables they grow in the greenhouse. So we need to know what kind of vegetables can grow in what kind of environment. So through that we can control water wastage, and also we don't need much soil to be utilized for growing any kind of vegetable. So these kind of innovative ideas should be used. And when I was in South Korea, actually I learned about hydroponic system. So growing vegetables without having soil, so using water. So hydroponic is using just soil, water. Okay, so water with nutrients. They grow tomato, they grow capsicum, the paprika, they grow other vegetables as well. Okay, celery they grow, they grow Chinese cabbage. Okay, so these kind of vegetable. And even in India actually now the hydroponic practice getting more popular. Actually, I even actually addressed in another program about hydroponic system. So when somebody wants to come with some novel innovative ideas in even the hydroponic system, so we can always welcome this kind of innovative ideas for practicing sustainable agriculture. Okay. Okay, so however, sustainable agriculture as practiced through integrated farming means much more than just applying right amount of fertilizer, as I mentioned. So what we need a small amount of fertilizer. We need not put just like that actually, because you don't know what is some farmers they throw fertilizer just like that. Okay, and also you need not to feed animals just like that. Okay, so you need to know actually right amount of fertilizer and right amount of feeding animals properly or keeping crops healthy. So this is how we can practice integrated farming, that is agriculture practice. Okay, so integrated farming is based on holistic, okay, the whole farm approach. Okay, on science-based management and on the optimal blend of experience and innovation in a continuous pattern of planning, evaluation, and improved management. Okay, so these three things are more important when you want to do the holistic. Holistic means the holistic practice. Okay, so that should be science-based. Okay, so you should not go with something just like that. Okay, so my grandfather practiced like that, so I put like that. So not in that way. Actually, you should go with the science-proven way in order to uh, uh, produce more, do sustainable agriculture practice. Okay. All right. So here's a concept related to sustainable agriculture. Okay. So this is from Garibaldi et al. By in 2017. Okay. So here are some of the concepts of sustainable agriculture. First one is agroecology, agroecology, agroforestry, conservation tillage, diversity farming, ecological intensification, integrated crop management, integrated farm management, integrated pest management, organic farming, precision farming, sustainable intensification. Okay, so these are the some of the concepts of sustainable agriculture practice. Okay. So here's a model of integrated farming system developed by ICAR, Indian Council for Agricultural Research, of Northeast Hill region, Manipur Center, Impal, and this model was implemented at Churachandpur. It's a Tolan village at Hengpao field. Okay, so this is a simple model actually they developed actually, uh, and you can see they use the solar energy, and the solar energy, just opposite to solar energy there's a soil, and the soil they grow vegetables, crops, fruits, and also they practice from the crops actually they practice apiculture, and for crops they supply no integrated nutrient management. That means that they recycle the nutrients, I mean the water or the nutrient they check every now and then, and they supply the proper nutrient to the crops, and also the feed management from the vegetables. Okay, the vegetables, what they grow, if there are any wastage, they know actually what are the waste are there. The feed management they do, they supply the necessary feed to the piggery. Okay, I mean piggery means livestock. Okay, and so this is a wonderful a model system actually for interior farming system, which was developed by Indian Council for Agricultural Research. So what we are going to see now is about integrated farming system of European Initiative for Sustainable Development in Agriculture. Okay, because European countries are always forehead than Indian system. So we can think about as I mentioned actually comparison is always good actually. So earlier actually I compared our development with China. Okay, because we do have say similar population, and anyhow actually now we are talking about the sustainable agriculture development. So we can take European Union as an example how they go for sustainable agriculture development through integrated farming. Okay, so here they have some of their ideas. Okay, human social capital. So they do energy efficiency, water use and production, soil management, proper crop nutrition, proper crop health and production, proper animal husbandry, health and welfare, proper landscape use and nature conservation, and proper waste management and pollution control, and climate change and air quality, and organization and planning, which is more important. Okay, and human and social capital. So this is some of the areas we are going to see about all these things. Okay, okay, so integrated production. Okay, so integrated production, let's know what are the key factors. So there are these five words key factors to achieve the production through sustainable agriculture development. So first one is integrated soil management, integrated crop nutrition, integrated crop production, integrated animal husbandry, health and welfare. So let's see how the integrated soil management can be achieved. Okay, so good soil husbandry ensures long-term fertility while reducing the risk of soil erosion, compaction, and associated environmental content. So any kind of issues happening with related soil should be properly addressed. Okay, and at the same time it helps to increase yield and profitability. When you do have proper integrated soil management, so you'll always have a high yield, and also the farmers can have more profitable. This is an European model. Actually, I'm talking about the European model actually, which we can also take some ideas. And as I shown in the Gordel et al. In 2017, they also had a similar kind of sustainable agriculture concepts. Okay, and this they may be adapted from actually because we used to we need to adopt something from other countries when they have no success in that aspect actually. Yeah, so this integrated soil management is also improved knowledge of farm soils by means of soil mapping helps planning suitable cultivation. To if you want to do proper cultivation, so if you know the soil condition as well soil quality and what kind of soil it is, So that is going to help you to plan. So what kind of cultivation you do, and what kind of crop rotation. For example, you have put rice, then you in the rice field actually you can put a sugar cane, and if you have a sugar cane, then you can convert into um, uh, any other crops or vegetables. Okay, so you will also know actually in the crop rotation and specific soil conservation measures such as reduced tillage, winter stubbles, and green cover crops. Okay, that is intercropping. So sometimes we can grow two different crops together. Like when you have sugar cane, in between you can try to put some other small vegetables. Actually, I have noticed recently they have put tomatoes in between sugar cane fields. So that kind of practice can soil proper soil management, because we need not waste soil. I mean the agricultural land. So that through this actually we can have more productivity, okay, more yield as well as profitability. So the key practice of integrated soil management is soil management plan that should be evaluated and revised annually. So you cannot go with one plan. If say every year you need to know based upon the weather condition, and also because sometimes the weather will be so hot actually. For that actually you need to supply proper water into the soil to grow some crops. But when you know the weather is going to be hot, then for that weather actually you can choose the plant actually the properly for that. Okay, so you need to revise your the soil condition annually. Okay, and for long term crop rotation plan, soil cover index actually the time and percent of soil cover by plant is also more important actually. And soil management advice and technical recommendations is also should be considered. And soil quality monitoring, including soil organic matter and regular assessment of field conditions. Yeah, as I mentioned, every now and then you need to go and check the soil pH condition. Based upon the soil pH condition, you need to know what kind of crops that you can grow. And choice and record of soil operation, including measures of prevent compaction. See, so that is also another important practice of integrated soil management. Okay, so next one is crop nutrition. Crop nutrition. Okay, so because I think actually I am running out of time, so I'll go quickly. Okay, so if you need more information, you can know. So this is available online. I'll show the reference section. You can collect this information from online. Okay, so the integrated crop nutrition. So what are the key elements in the crop protection? Nutrition is crop nutrient management plan that is should be raised annually. Okay, so everything should be raised annually, and advice and technical recommendation by the expertise should be considered. And you should, I mean, the farmer should always know the calculation of nitrogen needs, and also should be use the nitrogen properly. Okay, and the phosphate potassium balance as well as nutrient by micronutrient supply should be properly managed. And also the soil pH should be checked every now and then, and it can be improvised based upon the pH of the soil. Okay, and yeah, so what are the, I mean, if you have any records earlier of the nutrient application, that should be consider again. And the those who are working in the farms, actually the operator training and calibration of spreading equipment should be properly transported at the time of need. Okay, so here's the integrated crop production. Okay, so the integrated crop production is mainly considered about the pest management. Okay, so integrated pest management because the crop always get affected by the pests. So for that actually there are four steps should be always considered. Okay, for the pest management. Okay, first one is the prevention, and second one is observation, and the informed decision making. Because sometimes the expertise would have informed. Actually, this time even last time we had locust. Okay, locust they disturb lots of agricultural practice in the northern part of India, especially in Rajasthan and I guess yeah, Gujarat and Rajasthan, actually northern part of India actually. Yeah, Punjab. Yeah, Punjab actually. Yeah. So we should inform decision making what should be done at the time, and how to react for that. Okay, so and intervention. Okay, the selection of more resistant varieties combined with the balanced crop rotation helps to minimize the need for crop protection measures. And chemical crop protection is used as much as is needed. Okay, but try to use as little as possible, because chemical is not advisable for crop protection. But however, no one can practice agriculture without using any chemical. Okay, so that's why I told you there's no pure organic. Okay, so there will be any chemical will be involved. Okay, but we try to minimize as much as possible. Okay, and biology methods should be used whenever they are available, ensure satisfactory pest control and are cost effective. Okay. Yeah, so the integrated animal husbandry, health and welfare. Okay, so here you need to have a management practice should aim to meet the welfare of the animals, maintaining this livestock in a good health, in comfortable, low stress condition. Because when the animals get stressed, actually, it often gives low yield, and that is going to be an issue of getting a more profit. Okay, and yeah, so the animals should be have a balance, and nutrition feed is very much essential. Okay, and compliance with the disease prevention plans, strategic health controls, and documentation of all treatments is also part of integrated practice. Okay, so that is more important when you have when you're having integrated agriculture, sustainable agriculture practice. When you're having animals over there, you might know actually, what kind of drug that you have used to prevent any kind of disease, and everything should be in proper recorded in order to control those kind of diseases in future. Okay, and you might also know actually, these are the diseases are coming often, and that data may be helpful for the other farmers. Okay, yeah, traceability by origin, age, race, and category of livestock, together with the individual batches of animal feed, is ensured by compliance with the national admin system. Okay, so there is also one important system, because we might know actually, what kind of animal actually, because the Jersey cow will give more milk. Okay, so we need to know what kind of animal origin the husband, I mean, the live animal husbandry that livestock is from, and what is the age, and what is the race actually, the category of livestock. Everything should be properly informed through the national animal system. Okay, so again, the environment is also another key factor, and yeah, so we should know mostly water use and production, climate change and air quality, energy efficiency, landscape, and natural conservation. Okay, so first one is water use and production. Okay, protecting ground and surface water resources and using water wisely are key elements of integrated farm management system for maintaining and enhancing environment, wildlife, and biodiversity. Okay, because the groundwater is more important for us actually, because you can see these days really we are digging the land for more than 800 feet to get water. Okay, even some places we don't get good drinking water. Even you do ground actually the land more than 800 feet. Okay, so what I'm saying is so the water should be properly used. Okay, and for especially for integrated farming system, the water should be used drifting system, because drifting system can raise the use of consuming more water for growing the plants, and also that is going to save water. Also that is going to help you to have more productivity. Okay, using water responsibly means using and reusing it efficiently as possible. Yeah, that's why I told you actually, the water actually, as I told you earlier, actually in Korea and even in China, actually what they do is they supply the water through the drifting system, and they collect the water, they recycle it, then again they use the water, they supply it with the proper nutrient, they mix some nutrient, they check how much nutrient is there, how much pH is there. So there's a control system through that actually they reuse the water actually, because the system will be like this actually. They don't have the system in a normal surface. Like they always keep the system in a sliding way actually, little slide, and from there actually the water flows, and they collect the water, they open it, they collect the water, they check the pH, they check the nutrient, they recycle it, again they supply the water for the plants growth. Actually, this is more important. Okay? Reusing is more important. And climate change, air quality, as we are witnessing lots of climate change, and so to maintain carbon, I mentioned so the climate change is because of what we consume. Actually, every human activity has a impact in the environment. So especially for the food what we consume, and also the soils allocating land to annual perennial crops, grassland, woods, or uncultivated buffer zones also plays a major role in climate change. And some practices such as reduced tillage, use of overcrops, or incorporation of crop residues into the soil may increase carbon sequestration and help to improve the air quality. Okay, so this is another way actually to maintain the integrated farming actually in related to like environment. Okay, energy efficiency. This is like a more important part. Okay, so awareness of sustainable issues and responsible management of natural resources are central to integrated farming. Okay, this is more. This is going to be the central part of like integrated farming. So how efficiently that you're using the natural energy, like especially solar energy. Okay, and that is should be like careful use of inputs, conservation tillage, reducing fossil fuel needs where possible, and striving for optimum instead of like maximum yields help to increase the input output ratio, and hence the energy efficiency will have a proper like support to the integrated farming system. Yeah, again, the landscape and natural conservation, protecting and enhancing wildlife and biodiversity is great important within the holistic concept of integrated farming. As I told you, integrated farming is a holistic practice. Okay, in this holistic practice, we should not disturb the other living animals or the biodiversity. Okay, so we need to protect the wildlife because these days you can see the tiger has entered into a village and it was like into the agriculture field, elephants into the village, and cheetah into the village. Okay, so there, I mean, like there's lots of animals like getting into the village. The reason is we are disturbing their habitat actually. Okay, so when you like disturb their lifestyle, life actually, then obviously they will come into our place. Okay, so protecting them is more important. Protecting their place is more important. Okay, management practice should consider biodiversity effects such as the threat to skylarks from cultivation or mechanical weeding, and more importantly, maintain and enhance a wide range of land use and landscape features helps encourage diverse collection of wild plants and animals. Actually, I do have like my master series. Like he used to have lots of animals. So not only like pet animals, also you do have wild animals like in his like farm. Okay, this is not that much important. Okay, so yeah, now we are into like bio-entrepreneurship. Okay, so what are the important things one should like consider when they want to like go for a bio-entrepreneurship? Okay, so first one is like there are like different stages. First one is the ideation stage when you develop some idea. Okay, and second is like concept stage. Then third is the startup phase, and then is the development stage, and the last one is like how to like commercialize and growth or like extend expansion of like this that business. Okay, these are some of the stages of like bio entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship. Okay, I think this is okay. All right, yeah, so yeah, I will summarize here about like so yeah, so as you know, actually, entrepreneurship is like Indian government is like helping most of the like the entrepreneurs, those who wants to like come up with some new ideas and wants to do some business. Okay, for that actually they have made a like triple project. That is one is Innovate in India, Startup India, Make in India. These are some of the programs which the government of India wants to throw innovation ecosystem by prioritizing product innovation and commercialization of any kind of products, not only agriculture, it can be like anything. Okay, so that can be done in partnership with industry or with academia. Okay, mostly with the industry, and now like some like startups are coming with academia. I will talk about like the bio, this is about entrepreneurship. I will talk about the bio entrepreneurship, how can be like achieved. Okay. Okay, so we know the Indian biotechnology industry has also shown that when proper support system exists, they can deliver scaled up innovative products that are affordable and are in high quality. Because as we know, actually, like so Indian sector actually, biotech sector is really good actually. But we do have like scale up and increase the frequency of such innovation from India and make it a top destination for biotechnology. There are some issues like implementable strategies need to be formulated first. Okay, to promote innovation, translation, commercialization, and entrepreneurship, taking into account the views of industry, scientists, and other stakeholders. Okay, so however, we need to like address these things in order to like come with some like entrepreneurs actually into in the biotechnology field. The Indian bio-innovation need to address challenges in healthcare, agriculture, and fuel security based on four important paradigms. First one is high quality, sustainability, affordability, and accessibility. So these four things are like mainly considered in the Indian bio-innovation sector. Okay, so as we know, actually, Indian biotechnology industry is one of the fastest growing knowledge-based sectors, and about like there are like many biotechnology destination places are there, but India is in the 12th biotechnology destination in the world, and it's going to be the global leader in the production of drugs, actually in vaccines. And when you come to like agriculture, and we do have like very few opportunities, but anyhow like so now the government of India is like providing lots of funding through like GBT, National Biotechnology Development Strategy, that is by 2015-22 provides a strategic roadmap for India's emergence as a global biotechnology innovation manufacturing hub, and to contribute towards enterprise creation, innovation, and economic growth. To achieve that, actually they have like $100 billion. Okay, now we can see about the bio-entrepreneurship. Okay, bio-entrepreneurship is the integration of two different disciplines, like science, that is bio, and entrepreneurship. So it is the smoothest sailing of innovation from academia to industry. Actually, here I told like entrepreneurship can come from industry, academia, and enterprise. Okay, but here mostly the bio-entrepreneurship comes through academia. That's why actually like this FD program is mostly like coming with, actually we plan to have this bio-entrepreneurship. The reason is so academia people are like attending this program, and we need to know how to like give opportunity to the rural bio-entrepreneurs. Okay, because so any like big institution, actually for example IIT Madras is there. So IIT Madras is surrounded with Chennai is surrounded with lots of villages. Okay, so we can find out like villages, rural places where the people can involve in small business. Okay, so we can bring them with some novel ideas or innovation. We can like give them an opportunity to be a bio entrepreneur. Okay, so mostly it is like the business is like academia power. Okay? So any institution, any professors can have a small setup with the rural people. Okay, bio entrepreneurship mostly like done in India, in northeast of India. Okay, so I have like seen in Manipur, and Meghalaya, and Odisha as well, I guess, and some parts of like northeastern parts of India. Actually, like they are having bio entrepreneurs, more bio entrepreneurs, and also in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka we do have. I will show them actually, but they are like bio entrepreneurs, but they are not rural bio entrepreneurs. Okay, bio entrepreneurs is the sum of all activities necessary to build an enterprise that creates, build, and commercialize the biotech products. Okay. So here are some of the difference between entrepreneurship and bio-entrepreneurship. The process of launching a new business based on a great idea, and bio-entrepreneurship is starting a business based on an idea or invention from the various fields of science like biotechnology, etc. Okay, but here in the entrepreneurship, you can have a process of launching new business based on. So if you have some idea, okay, for example, if you want to develop an app, okay, develop an app, okay, call local auto drivers and use the app, and you can like as the auto driver to give their like details. If somebody wants to have an auto, actually they can put it there using the app, and that app will inform the auto driver, and the auto driver can go and pick up the customer. Okay, so this is just an idea, but whereas in bio-entrepreneurship, you should have some invention. Okay, you should have some new idea actually. With that idea only, you can like go for bio-entrepreneurship. So in entrepreneurship, such prior restriction or regulation there, but in bio-entrepreneurship, there's a strict regulation. Strict regulation is there. Okay, as the biotech industry is the highest strictly regulated sector in business, because you cannot do just like it, because you are going to come with some product. That products have like bio, that is mean like any kind of like a biogenic thing, can be microorganism, can be food product. Okay, so it can be anything. So it have a strict regulation, whereas the entrepreneurship have no strict regulation. You can develop any app, you can come with some gaming app, you can like develop any kind of like app, and you can be an entrepreneur. But by entrepreneurship, there's a strict regulation. Okay, but in entrepreneurship, for normal startup, it takes less time for the development of products. For example, IT-based startups, okay, online-based startups, as I mentioned, okay, these apps actually that is a normal startup, okay, but in biotech-based startups take more time. That is because that is one of the challenge in biotech bio-entrepreneurship. Okay, a biotech-based startups take more time for the development of products. For example, making vaccine or drugs or antibodies or anything. Okay, so this takes lots of time. In normal startups, you do not much need of worry about ethical committees, whereas in bio entrepreneurship, you need to follow the there's a regulation, okay, that is related to Federal Drug Food Drug Administration in the USA, and also India has FSSI, and also there are so many institutions, okay, to give a proper license or giving approval for the products. And normal startup can from minimal capital, but in Bangladesh you need a huge investment, okay. But in India, actually, the government of India actually trying to support through BIRAC program. Actually, BIRAC is there, and BCI is there. BIRAC Consortium India Limited is there. Through various institution. Actually, they are trying to support if you're having any innovative ideas and you want to come up with you want to be a bio-entrepreneur, okay. Yeah. So Bangladesh will need a huge investment, needs millions of dollars to turn your idea into reality. That means as a product, okay. In entrepreneurship, there's not that much risk. Bangladesh also, the hurdle for Bangladesh is the high risk that is scientific uncertainty. Because sometimes you'll be working for 2-3 years, but you don't get you won't succeed, or you won't have a profitable business. So these are some of the difference between entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship, okay. Okay, so rural bioenergy is the most commonly developing entrepreneurship by taking agriculture activities, enterprises, rural buyers as a business venture. Okay, so most of my friends, actually, those who have been abroad, actually, they came back, they bought some land in rural places, and they started integrated farming. Integrated farming, they became like a bio entrepreneur. They grow that quail eggs actually, and they have like a country hence egg actually. They come with some new hello egg, happy hen. Some actually they come with some new brand names actually. They also became bio entrepreneur, because they come with biological thing, right? The eggs, and also they come with some other things. So I'm saying this so you don't have to be an urban. Actually, you might think I'm an urban area, so how can I be a rural bio entrepreneur? Obviously, you can buy a land you can have a small place. That is, you don't need to buy acres of land. Even if you have small land, and if you have some innovative idea, and you can some innovative idea, then you can always approach the government of India. They always like to welcome new ideas to support funding from the government, okay. And they also ready to give some grants. Okay, so it may deal with the entire value chain like production, processing, and distribution. Okay, so there's ample scope and opportunity for developing entrepreneurship by focusing on bioresources in the rural areas. Okay, I'm talking in the rural areas. Okay, but in urban, the hydroponics is good idea, but you need actually good control environment, because the urban places are more polluted to the air, and when you're having greenhouse, obviously if you get more polluted, you need to wash the vegetables. There is a high risk actually. So when you go into rural places, if you practice a hydroponic, so you can have lots of profit actually when comparing to practice urban bio-entrepreneurship. Okay, so what are the organic based agriculture rural bio-entrepreneurship? Okay, so one, you can go for vermicomposting. I listened from my friend actually. There's a company actually. They need lots of vermicompost for their agricultural land. So you can do the compost, and you can supply the compost to their agricultural land, and you can they buy in kilograms. Actually, they ask in tons actually. So they need in tons. So this also very good bio-entrepreneurship practice, that vermicomposting, vermiwash, panchagavia, biochar, biopesticide, off-season cultivation of high-value vegetables, as I mentioned, hydroponics. Okay, that system actually, so you don't need to look after the season. Actually, any season you can grow the vegetable in the system, and cultivating field crops in post-monsoon season by modified bamboo drip irrigation system. So as I mentioned, drip system is really good actually. So they, I mean, these are some of the practice in northeast of India, actually, northeast part of India. Okay, and setting up soil testing labs at village level, mushroom cultivation, aquaculture, floriculture, growing different kind of flowers. Okay, and post harvest technology at value addition, improved hybrid seeds, biofertilizers, fish seed production, dairy farm with fodder cultivation, broiler goat rearing. Okay, so broiler, like, so you can buy, like, some goat, actually, like, even recently, actually, one of my junior, actually, like, now he into, like, goat rearing, like, he buy lots of goats, and he's having he's doing goat rearing, actually, and it's really profitable, actually. And beekeeping, production of biocontrol agent, poultry feed production, coir making, bamboo furniture making, and greenhouse technology. And also you can do, like, a custom hiring center of farm machinery, etc. Actually, like, so based upon the requirement of the, like, the practice of, like, in the rural area, actually, like, so you can, like, supply or design, actually, like, the machinery for them. So these are the offer opportunity for developing bio-entrepreneurship in rural areas. So here are some of the, like, bio-entrepreneurs. Actually, they are not, like, rural bio-entrepreneurs. They are the entrepreneurs, actually, bio-entrepreneurs. Okay. So AICTE Biochemicals Private Limited. So you can have, like, more information. You can Google it. Okay. The founder is Adra Chandramouli, and their annual turnover is like 17 lakhs. The team member are 6 people. Okay. This was established in 2014. And Biogram Agro Solution and Research Institution, which is in Madhya Pradesh. NZI's Goenji Biolabs Private Limited, which is in New Delhi. This is ICR campus, USA. And Fifth Soul Life Technology Private Limited, which is in IIT Madras. Green Agri Biotech Private Limited, which is in Dibrugarh, Assam. Revelation Biotech Private Limited, which is in Telangana. Robust Herbals Private Limited, which is in Karnataka, Bengaluru. Sushila Biofuels Company Private Limited, which is in Jaunpur, Uttar Pradesh. The United Corporate Marketing Cum Processing Society Limited, which is in Punjab, Hoshiarpur. So their annual turnover is 12 crores. Just imagine, like, how much money they are making. And this is this is an integrated business, actually. C6 Energy Private Limited. So it's in Bengaluru, Karnataka. It's in CCAP. And so they are into, like, microalgae based, macroalgae based business, which supports, like, development of various plants. So these are some of the references which I collected for my presentation. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'm ready to take. I'm sorry because I took more time. So any questions? I'm ready to take.
So we do have questions.
Yes. So, yeah.
There's one person who asks, sir, how does sustainable agriculture practice reduce the environmental impact of agriculture?
How does sustainable agriculture practice reduce the environmental impact of agriculture? As I mentioned, like, we need to, environmental impact is not only a single aspect, actually, it's a whole aspect. Okay? So it can be, the environmental impact can be through soil, it can be from water. Okay. So I don't know which aspect that you're asking. Okay. So there are lots of things involving in, like, the sustainable agriculture practice. Okay. Any questions?
Participants, if you have any question, please unmute yourself or leave your question on the chat box. So looks like that's the only question we had.
All right. Okay. Because probably I have too much time. They would have got tired.
Thank you, sir, for that informative talk. So on behalf of the student staff management of the Oxford College of Engineering, I take this a privilege to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Ramasamy Rajesh Kumar for his time and acceptance to become a speaker for our FDP program. So thank you again for being part of this FDP.
Feedback, second.